the Mid-South's news leader. Coverage you count on from the people you trust. This is Action News 5.
Well, you guessed it, weather the top story tonight as much of the viewing area has been hit with flash floods. Good evening. I'm Mike Puccinelli.
And I'm Ursula Madden. Right now, let's go right back to Tommy Stafford in the Weather Center for the very latest on this storm system. Tommy, what can you tell us?
It's been rocking and rolling in the weather office, you might say, this afternoon, Ursula, as most folks could imagine. Flash flooding, we usually don't think of it creating all the problems that it has across the Mid-South, but there were a lot of problems here in Shelby County. Talked myself personally to many folks that were out this afternoon on their cell phones, said they were running into massive flooding, particularly in portions as you move to the east of Midtown and to the south of Midtown. We'll be talking about all that in the news segment in just a moment. Let's go back to Storm Track 5 radar for just a moment. I want to zoom back into the Memphis metro area. That's where the bulk of problems were across the Mid-South today, was right here in Shelby County. An urban and small stream flood advisory just expired at the top of the hour at 5 o'clock. We are under no watches or warnings now or advisories for the Mid-South area as a result of what the Weather Service issued. Now you can see we still have some moderate showers to the north of the 240 loop, also stretching down through there and then out to the east and southeast. But I want to back up again and give you the idea of what's to come. There's not a lot left in Arkansas, and what's over there is beginning to fall apart. An impressive cell to the south of Martin, also some moderate rain showers through Dyer and Lauderdale County, but that is just about it. The good news here is these showers are beginning to dissipate, and as we begin to lose the daylight heating as we get toward the dark hours of the evening, they'll continue to just dissipate and fall apart altogether. I can't rule out seeing some other thunderstorms pop up, but I don't think they're going to be anything like what we saw earlier this afternoon. At one point, when the thunder showers were reported at the Memphis International Airport, they had visibility down to 1 mile for one of their on-the-hour reports. So you can imagine what kind of precipitation it took to have that. We've had reports of as much of a foot of water in some places standing. So we'll talk about what's going to be taking place for the remainder of this evening and what we can expect in the full weather forecast coming up in just a few moments. I think you'll like what we have as far as a change from what we saw today. And we'll have all that coming up in just a few moments. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Tommy. Tommy, keeping an eye on that storm system for us. And tonight, summer storms have already caused a lot of damage here in the Mid-South. Yvette Mena is live with more on that. Yvette?
That's right, Ursula. We've been getting lots of phone calls from people reporting flooding in several parts of the Mid-South. In fact, my photographer and I just came back from East Memphis, a very wet East Memphis. Driving west, on Walnut Grove Road, you see the Galloway Golf Course. Well, you might as well call it a pond. As you can see, all the heavy rain that collected on the greens that are under construction have spilled over onto Walnut Grove, forcing cars to try the side streets. It's better there, but still, many areas are underwater. After tagging behind this blue car for several miles on Walnut Grove, it finally quit, forcing the driver to get out in the rain and push it along. But that's not the worst of it. Several cars on some of the neighboring streets, as you can see right there, are stuck. The water way up over the tires. We've also learned homes have been flooded at Rangeline and Whitney. The Mid-South Christian Nursing Home has been evacuated because of the flooding over there. Kenwood Drive near Highland, you're going to want to stay off of that road. And at Tillman and Broad near Sam Cooper Boulevard, this is actually something we saw happen. A car is actually floating down the street. Hopefully they've moved it out of the way. Now, outside of Shelby County, we've been getting lots of calls from people in Olive Branch, people over there saying their power is out. So needless to say, if you're going to be heading out there, be careful on those roads. Ursula and Mike, back to you in the studio.
Okay, thanks a lot, Yvette. And severe weather has